Can you dig it, sucker?
All right, everyone, it's Booker T and Brad Gilmore here, and we've got something exciting for all you sports, comedy, music, and theater fans out there. We're talking about Game Time, the fastest, easiest way to get your hands on tickets to your favorite events.
That's right, Book. We love all those spontaneous, unforgettable moments, and Game Time is here to make them happen. Whether it's a last-minute decision to see a game or a sudden urge to catch a live show, Game Time has got you covered, giving fans access to tickets even at the last minute in over 60 cities across the United States and Canada.
Hey guys, this ain't about getting in. This is about getting the best seats in the house. With Game Time, you can see images of your seat before you buy it. So no surprises there, guys. You can score tickets swiftly. Skip the line, guys. Just dive straight into the moment.
Absolutely. And listen to this. Game Time guarantees the best prices. Find tickets in the same section and row for less elsewhere. Game Time will give you a credit of 110% of the difference. So there's no reason to wait, bro.
So whether it's the thrill of the game, the laughter of the comedy, the rhythm of the music, or the drama of the theater, guys, don't let the opportunity skip by. Choose Game Time. Grab your tickets and just enjoy the moment.
Live should be spontaneous, Book. So guys, don't miss out. Check out Game Time now on their app or at gametime.co. That's gametime.co.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code BOOKER for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Lowest price. Guaranteed. Oh, yes. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code BOOKER at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code BOOKER to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, you know, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Hey, welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. And guys, it's all about the 5 minutes of fame and stepping inside the 5 minutes of fame today. He is none other than just fresh off his debut, giving up the Lexus King. What's going on, man? I love the name. How you doing?
Thank you for having me, Book. I'm doing great. You know, just got off a fresh day of training and getting after it. Did some shopping today, you know.
Yeah. It seemed like you just vibing right now, laying back, you know, chilling, kicking back. Yeah. I like that, man. But let's get right into it. You know, just to give you a little story. I know you was a kid, man, when you lost your dad. Just like me, I lost my dad when I was 10 months old, though. I mean, lost my mom at an early age too, so I can relate with your story. For me, I got a chance to meet your dad back in the early 90s, back in WCW, and we had a little run-in. We bumped heads. And no, seriously, man, we almost got into a little something. The thing is, I've never told that story ever.
That's great. I got to hear it.
And the only reason I'm talking about it now is because I'm talking to you about it. I remember, it's crazy. It was at Center Stage in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, yeah. I was born in Atlanta.
Peachtree Ave. You know what I'm talking about. And we were doing WCW TV Saturday night there, and I went to the bathroom and to the stall, and the stall was locked, of course, right? And I had to wait. Okay, I had to wait, and then when finally the person came out of the stall, it was your dad, Brian Pillman, and I walked past him, you know, and I go into the stall, and needless to say, he left a little surprise for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
that's definitely him.
And I'm like, man, I'm gonna kill this guy. I'm gonna hurt him. You know what I mean? So we definitely got up on the wrong foot right up the bat. But I tell you, man, you getting into this business, it shouldn't feel like a surprise to anyone. My question is, do you feel like you was born to do this?
I think about that a lot, and it's almost like I feel like I never had a choice. I felt like it was always in my blood. For the fact that the day he decided he was going to name me Brian Pillman, I was trapped. It was everywhere I'd go. Go to the grocery. Oh, Brian Pillman. It's just it's a household name in Cincinnati where I grew up, and so I couldn't escape that legacy. I couldn't escape all the reminders of him. And to be fair, he didn't exactly leave me a choice. He left me on this earth without anything. I didn't grow up with all the wealth and all the accolades that he that gained throughout his life. So I had to scratch and claw and find my way through it. I couldn't just go to school and just I did go to school and I did do all those things, but I needed more. He made it so I needed to reclaim all that. You know what I mean? I've never been content with just being average because I know what the Pillman name used to have, and instead of building on this wealth of his, I didn't inherit any of that. I didn't inherit anything. So now I have to go back out there and reclaim it all. So, and the best way to do that with my genetics and my personality and what I inherited from him indirectly is to be a pro wrestler. You know what I mean? I was never going to succeed at anything else. There was just that bone in my body that, just the hoop person I am only works in this world. I tried to be normal. I got my degree. I did the normal guy job, 9 to 5. And I've just always been a creative, eccentric person. And like I said, if had he had lived a long life and maybe provided for me, I could have invested or done my own thing. But he kind of left. He basically left the stage for me. You know what I mean? It's like he gave me the spotlight and said, "All right, now it's your turn to go be great and go be somebody." But you got to do it on your own. You know what I mean? So I'm almost more blessed in that sense that now I have something to chase. I have this drive to be better than he was. And had he been around, maybe I wouldn't have had that. Maybe I would have resented the business because I didn't need it. I don't know. It's hard to say. Every second generation wrestler goes through their own trials and tribulations with this business and how it affects them mentally and their development outside of this world. But I didn't have a choice, I didn't have any insurance plan or any backup plan. It was like, here you go, kid. Here you got a name, That's
Hey,
all he gave me, Gave me a name and a legacy.
hey, you know what? You know what? That's a start. That's a start. My name's Booker T,
Yes, sir.
and I'm a junior. I lost my dad when I was young, like I say, 10 months old, and the only thing I had was a photo of my
Yep.
dad to look at to draw strength from. You know what I
Yes,
mean? I
sir.
never had the stories like you have, with your dad, but I had that one photo that I looked at for strength all the time. But go ahead, Brad. I just want to get that in there.
No, I mean, incredible answer to that question, Alexis. And the thing for me is, growing up a wrestling fan, I would always look forward to the vignettes of the guys. Right, if I go back to Razor Ramon and all his vignettes leading up to the debut, or even you and I aren't too far away in age, Carlito and Chris Masters, I remember those very vividly, and I was excited to see them finally debut. Your vignettes coming into NXT were so awesome, and they were different than any vignette I can remember seeing in the last several years. Where did the idea of that come from? Was that something that you wanted to do, or did they approach you with that idea?
All I can say is it was 100% real. I felt that way for a very long time. It was just a shot in the dark. It was just pure chance that the creative happened to be right on board with that. I came into WWE. I told him my story. I told him my real story, and that I don't have a gimmick. This isn't a character. This is real life. Wrestling has had a real impact on my life, and I said, this is what I need to do. I wanted this. I wanted to become my own man. You know what I mean? It's impossible to be better than, the second coming is never better than the original. You know what I mean? And I was never going to be a better Brian Pillman, you know, and I knew that, and I knew that I needed to more or less disparage his name and create my own, not that I don't have any hatred towards my father. But it would have just been an uphill battle to try to be Brian Pillman 2 or Brian Pillman Jr. I've gone 30 years of my entire life with someone else's name, his name. And to come here and to have this company give me the opportunity to create my own name. I mean, it was a dream come true, and it all just fell together. They didn't even, I mean, they gave me a few things to say, but I mean, there wasn't even really a script involved. They said, tell us your story. And I went on that camera, and everything I said was true and 100% from the heart. And that's how I feel. I didn't know him. You know what I mean? Everybody loved him. I mean, I don't hate him. He was a great, great man. I inherited a lot of positive traits from him. But I don't owe him anything to use his name any further. He made his name, and now it's time for me to make mine. I'm never going to outshine him in what he did, especially the way that he passed. You know what I mean? It's like you think about guys like Tupac, these great artists that when they die at their peak, they're immortalized at that peak. You know what I mean? There's no outdoing that. You know what I mean? They're revered, and he was revered for what he did. And I felt like it's sooner or later, I thought about starting out that way. I thought about starting my career as a new person. My first indie match, I was Alex King. It was like straight up, like almost the exact same name.
Yeah.
So to come in here and be given the creative go, like you pick your name, you know what I mean? Like they didn't even go back and forth with me. They said, we want you to be you. I said, look, this was my older sister's first name. I actually knew her. She would pick me up, take me to freaking Dairy Queen. She was an indie wrestler too and a performer. She was a dancer. And then my little sister Skylar, who I went through all the trouble and all the hard times with. She eventually got adopted by her grandma. So to come in with a real raw story that I don't have to fake it. I don't have to read from a script. This is who I am. And no one else has that on me. This business has had if you watch Dark Side of the Ring, this business has had a severe impact on my life. And despite all that, I'm stronger than ever. And I got here because of this business, because of the great impact that it has had. So while it might have put me, back a few steps in my childhood, here I am now thriving, traveling the world. And I finally made it here to the biggest stage of them all. The WWE. I think I deserve a shot 100% on everything I've been through, inside this career and outside of it. So it's a fresh start for Lexus King.
I like the direction. I really do. I mean, so many have taken that route, like the Charlotte Flares, the Cody Rhodes. I remember even going back in the day, like, Eric Watts, everybody, I mean, going back to they even created a Von Erich, just
Right. We need another one.
no, yeah,
We got a I'm sure there was a few like kind of just worked like gimmick Von Erichs back then.
yeah, heck yeah,
That's
that's what,
like, hey, you're gonna be a Von Erich.
that's what I'm saying. And for you to totally not ride on that Pillman name, that says a whole lot
Yeah.
about you. The King origin. Talk to me about that, and what does it feel to you when you do hear your name announced, Lexus King? What's the feeling that go through you?
Well, there's a lot of emotion behind that last name. So that was my stepfather's last name, and he came into the picture. I mean, pretty much as soon as my father passed. I mean, my mom needed to be with somebody to help keep the lights on. So, I mean, she was already 1 foot out the door, I'm pretty sure,
Wow,
so
wow.
before he passed, you know what I mean? Because everything that was going on in the business and things. But, so she was looking for some stability, and she met a guy with the last name King, and, he came from a great family, but he wasn't great to me, so he was, an abusive, piece of work, and he put me through some shit. And it made me stronger. And in a way, it's like, you know what? This man robbed my childhood. I'm going to rob his name. I'm going to take his name because that's a freaking cool name. And I'm going to make it mean something positive, because as much as he was a piece of garbage to me, I'm not doing this to bring him any glory or fame. I'm doing this for me, like I'm going to take that name and make it something, because in a way he had much more influence on my life than my own father did.
Yeah.
I was 4 years old and I lived under this man's roof till I was about 13. I packed up my bags in a black trash bag and moved out on my own when I was 13. So,
Wow.
so this man berated me, neglected me, abused me for about 8-9 years. So I am a king. I called him dad. I mean, there was a part of my life where I looked up to this stepfather as my father. So
Wow.
he never officially adopted me and gave me his name, but I have every right to use that name because that what I went through made me who I am today. So I'm more a king than I am a Pillman, if we're quite honest. As
That's
much as
powerful.
as much negativity and stuff that name carries in my life, um, it's who I am. And if that means that when I step in the ring with you, that I'm going to be a vile piece of shit and just beat the crap out of you, then that's what it's going to be, because all that's been built up and that's been given out to me. I've taken a beating. I've taken a whooping. You know what I mean? I've been thrown down a flight of stairs by a grown man. You know what I mean? Like nothing can stop me on this journey to take what I want from NXT. And it's already started. So you guys have seen it. I made my debut. I made a statement, and this is who I am. I'm Lexus King. So people better get used to the name. People want to talk crap about the name, but they're gonna be chanting it before long. So
I love
get
it.
used to it. Yeah.
Hell of a motivating factor.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that, Brett.
Yeah, you talk about everything that happened in your life and your journey to get to the WWE, to get to the big stage. You were somewhere else before, but I guess my question is, in your pro wrestling journey, to have that ability to work television and work the television style and understand that, how paramount was that for you to prepare you to get to where you are now?
I think everything has prepared me to where I'm at now. I could have went down a really bad road. There was many intersections that I got to, not just in my childhood and my young adult life, but even in the wrestling world, there was some temptations and some paths I could have gone down. You know what I mean? I could have just been, another story, another headline, a guy that, went down the wrong road. But no, I think everything's prepared me to be here. I'm glad I waited till I was of age. I had an opportunity when I was about 23, 24 to come here and train, and it just didn't feel right. It felt too soon. It felt, they always say, you should despise a free lunch, and I felt like getting a shot that soon while I was still green. I didn't really appreciate or respect the business enough to be here. I was still resentful towards it, and I just wanted to get out there and do some indies and see if eventually it would click. And I did. I fell in love with it, and it clicked. And I traveled, and I got on with MLW. My trainer Lance Storm recommended. He said you got nothing to lose to go with this small sort of TV production. Got experience doing TV style stuff with them. It was great. Got in with the Davy Boy Jr. So I got a little connection with the Hart family. That was really cool to get me started. And then did some stuff with OVW, which we know is like the original developmental, Randy and Cena and those guys, they came from OVW. So that was a good little session of TV reps. And then ultimately AEW was my biggest shot before here. Got to work with some great guys, Danielson, Moxley. We had Jerry Lynn backstage, just a lot of great people, Billy Gunn. So a lot of these guys that have, built the past 20, 30 years of pro wrestling have kind of helped me along the way. So I'm definitely not on my own in that. My father definitely left a few angels behind to sort of guide me in the right direction. But I think now at the maturity level I'm at now, all those mistakes are in the past.
Corbin Dallas.
I don't have to rely on that Pillman name anymore. I'm here. I'm ready to be here, and I'm ready to be Lexus King.
Brad, have you learned after all this time to put your phone on mute? I mean, come on, man. How many times we got to talk about this?
That's
okay.
called a receipt. I appreciate it,
It's a
Books.
receipt
I
because
You know what's
appreciate it.
funny? It's like most people I know these days, they just always like no one likes to hear a ringtone.
I'm
Like if I
serious.
don't like I don't want to hear if I like I'll check my phone and see I have a missed call and call that person back, but I don't my phone's always on silent from dusk till dawn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
It's
receipt
never on
Book just gave
silent.
me.
Yeah, it was a receipt.
Yeah.
I always have mine home during the show, and it goes off.
And
But
the one time.
yeah,
Nice.
you mentioned the name there. Big shout out to Lance Storm.
Yeah.
I had a little run in with Lance Storm back in WCW when he won all the titles, and then he had to face the world heavyweight champion, which was I at that time.
Yeah.
And I beat the hell out of him.
No,
Oh man,
Lance was great. Lance really got me ready. Like he told a lot of stories and like talked about the respect and the politics of the business. Like he spent a lot of time like talking to us about like the manners of it all and just
yeah.
like how to get by and like how to not get
One of my
buried and all that.
one of
Yeah.
my biggest rules, for the young guys, Brad is he's heard me say it many times. You got to know how to make it in the locker room before
Hmm.
you have a chance at making it in the ring. And
Hmm.
it's a protocol. It's not kissing ass or anything like that
Yeah.
because that's something that I've never did once. But knowing how to work my way through the system has definitely been beneficial for me. I remember when I was coming up, young like yourself, and one of the guys came up to me and said, "Book, you're going to be the world heavyweight champion one day." And I go, "Man, get out of here, man. That's not going to happen. I just want to be the best worker." But I did have aspirations at working at the top level, working with the top guys, and I found myself in the main event against Triple H at WrestleMania. And man, it's a night that I'll never forget. And my question is, do you see yourself headlining WrestleMania one day?
I'm not one of those. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's my dream." Everybody has like their WrestleMania moment dream. I wouldn't say I'm one of those people that is like I'm just oh my god I just have to be there. I just think it's inevitable. I think it's destiny. I think if I keep going on this path I'm on, this trajectory I'm on, it's bound to happen. That moment is bound to be mine. And right now it starts one foot in front of the other. Right now it starts with NXT, and it starts with becoming the biggest threat and becoming the king of NXT. But once I get to that main roster, yeah, I mean everybody looks forward to that WrestleMania moment. But I'm not going to sit here and say I lose sleep every night over it because I know it's going to happen. I know that everything in my life has happened for a reason, and I didn't suffer. I didn't go through all that suffering. I didn't go through all the bumps and all the bruises and all the injuries and all my life and my childhood and everything it's brought me to here. To me, WrestleMania is inevitable. It has to happen. Nobody has the story that I have. Nobody's faced the adversity I have. And guess what? And if it didn't happen, and if I never made it to WrestleMania, I would be 100% fine with that because after everything I've been through, I could be sleeping on a floor right now. You know what I mean? In a crack house. You know what I mean? But here I am at NXT coming in, having a great debut, looking great in the best shape of my life, you know, um, having already made a good living in wrestling and just kind of going further with it. You know what I mean? Like the order of operations has been on par here. From one place to the next, I've constantly moved up in this business. So to me, it's inevitable that I'll be at WrestleMania, whether I'm the main event or not. I don't know. I'm gonna play my part. I'm going to run the play that the coaches want me to run, and I'm going to be the best version of Lexus King that they're ever going to see.
I tell you, you gave me the perfect answer. All right, you gave me the perfect answer, and the reason no, the reason I say that is because I ask students sometimes, when they come to reality of wrestling and they get on the show and they start doing pretty good, and then I bring them in my office and I'll say, "What's your goals? What's your aspirations?" And the right answer is always, well, excuse me, the wrong answer is always to be the WWE champion. The right answer is always, man, I want to be the best reality of wrestling champion I could possibly be.
Yeah.
And you started at NXT.
Yeah.
You said, I want
Yeah.
to conquer this. I want to be the king here
Yeah.
before I
Yeah.
move on. And that right there, man, is the perfect way to think. Never get too far ahead of yourself. Always think about the now. The future is going to happen for you, but thinking about the now is the only way you can really roll through this thing and really keep it in perspective. So I tell you, man, I wish for nothing but the best for Lexus King. I see you having a bright future. You know, the fans might need to order their sunglasses now. You know what I mean? Because I think the rocket is going to be put on you. You're going to go straight to the moon just because I feel like you're grounded. I feel like you have the right idea of what this thing's all about, as well as if you ever need anything from me, I'm just a phone call away, and I'm always going to be here to help you. Any parting words for your fans?
And just stay tuned. You heard me on Tuesday. I've already had an impact. There's some things that are going to come, and there's some things I might have already done that you haven't seen that have happened backstage. But you just never know. This character and this person, it's a brand new identity for me. It's a chance to step outside my father's shadow and finally show everybody what I'm all about. And that's very exciting for me. It's very exciting for the fans. And I think it's going to be very exciting for WWE. I think everybody's excited to see what Lexus King does next.
Booyah!
So stay tuned.
The 5 minutes of fame, guys. Want to thank Lexus King for stepping inside just for a minute to give us a little champagne wishes and caviar dreams, man. But stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it.